Dun, 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 dun. Fired up, ready to go on a Monday. Butt chugged a bunch of pre-workout. Let's get this thing going, right? So through popular demand that no one actually asked for, it's like every time there's an influencer, they're like, so people have been asking me about this and this and that. No one's asking you about anything. No one's asking you for home workout tips using like a gallon of milk. Get out of here. But NFL power rankings, everyone does them. They're hashtag easy. Hashtag easy, hashtag content. That's something that people like to do. And of course, we're all about the low hanging fruit here on the channel. First time viewing, welcome in. This is the Vikings channel. And keep that in mind as you're in there. I can just imagine all the Bears fans like, these are not accurate. These are not that whole thing. So every single week we will do a power rankings, including during the off season. But teams will rise and fall. Just weird because nothing has happened. But we get into it. So let's get this thing on. Let's go. So first off, 32 overall, Jaguars. Yeah, it's a shame that they can't play the international games this year because Shad Khan does want to move the Jaguars to London, which sucks because Duval, because Eastern Florida, because Jacksonville. I love them. They're sort of like Bills Mafia, except a lot more chill because they have better weather. That's really about it. But Jaguars, Gardner Minshew, okay, cool. Yeah, I think they're fully in for the tank of a Trevor Derby. Trey Lance. I thought Jacksonville were pretty damn sweet. Yeah, get rid of Leonard Fournette. There you go. Next up, you know what it is. The Detroit Lions. It's rough. It is so rough because you on paper, we talked about when we broke down the Lions depth chart, this is probably like a 9-7, 8-8 team, but Matt Patricia, no, bueno. And frankly, Lions fans, you've been kicked in the teeth for so many years. I think they would take sort of a tanking year to get rid of Patricia, get rid of Bob Quinn, land themselves a top 5 quarterback. Do that? Sure. Swan song for Stafford. Eventually he'll end up. Where will Stafford end up next year? God, I don't even know. Just looking at this list. Washington? Doesn't matter. Anyways, 30 power rankings mid-May. Not Bears. Yeah. I was like, there's been so many headlines. If you look, like, oh, Matt Nagy says we're not having a quarterback competition virtually. Who cares? Whoever you start, you're gonna end up 4-12 anyway. Like, oh, the boy wonder. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's a protege of Andy Reid. Oh, look at all this. Ryan Pace is honestly the worst general manager in the friggin' league, and like in league history. And that included a league that had Ryan Grigson running a team, trading a first-round pick for Trent Richardson. What's that, Trent Williams? But also Mike Lynn, the former Vikings GM who traded everything for Herschel Walker. Yeah, how'd that work out? Yeah, Ryan Grigson, Mike Lynn, Joe Thomas of the Niners signing up O.J. Simpson, of course, him just like out there. But and then also so Ryan Pace, he's terrible. So yeah, Bears down there. Bengals, 29. There you go. There are a lot of young pieces, a lot of moving parts there. I do like Zach Taylor. I really love Joe Burrow. I love Jonah Williams. So I think that they may have a stew going because you bring in T. Higgins as well to pair him up with Tyler Boyd, work from the side. You got the corpse A.J. Green. You got some intriguing pieces going on there as well as Joe Mixon. I mean, that defense is still a little bit worse for the wear, even though they signed 19 Vikings. So maybe. Long term, sure. 28 Giants. Not a fan of Daniel Jones. Saquon Barkley is solid, except it's 2020. I mean, you're still building your team around a running back, Gettleman. Okay. Although I do love and respect the draft overall. So Andrew Thomas, Matt Peart, as well as Xavier McKinney. So I like how they went about fixing the offensive line as well as the back end of their secondary. So sure. But also, next up, 27, Washington. So you got Ron Rivera year one, trying to undo the mess that Bruce Allen left. And there's always been one consistent factor in Washington's abysmalness. It's Daniel Snyder. I think as long as he's owner, I don't see them return to prominence anytime soon. But I like Dwayne Haskins, even though I just said that Matthew Stafford is going to replace him. So I like Haskins. I like Geis if he can stay healthy. You got Adrian Peterson still doing the damn thing there. You got Thaddeus Moss. Sure. You got Terry McLaurin. You picked up Antonio Gibson, is a guy that I really love too. So you got a little something going on there. Plus Chase Young added to the very studly front seven. Very underrated front seven for Washington. So There you go. Plus, he got rid of Quentin Dunbar, peak Quentin Dunbar before he got arrested. Next up, 26 Rams. Yeah, Sean McVay, the boy wonder, is becoming the boy blunder. Jared Goff is not it. You gave up on Todd Gurley. You gave away Brandon Cooks. Cooper Kupp. Oh, he's changing his number. Oh, I'm number 10 now. Oh, I'm Cooper Kupp. Cool. It's rough. It's rough. Plus, I mean, they gave away their draft picks for like the next 3 years. I mean, Les Snead is really effing things up. Sean McVay may not be long for this job, and they're moving to a new stadium that no one cares about that's going to be empty. It would have been empty to begin with. Football just doesn't work in LA. Sorry. They have a pro team. It's called USC. Next up, 25, Jets. I like Sam Darnold. You're gambling on Mekhi Becton. You're gambling on Denzel Mims. Sure. I mean, I respect what Joe Douglas is doing, but right now you're starting out towards the back of the pack. 24, the Raiders. I do not respect what Mike Mayock is doing. I really love Mike Mayock as the TV dude, but as a GM of the Raiders, I understand that he's a rubber stamp for John Gruden, so maybe a lot of the blame doesn't go on him. But, man, Damon Arnett, first round, really? Clelin Ferrell, number 4 overall, really? Okay, sure. I do like that they brought in Marcus Mariota. I think the clock is ticking on Derek Carr. I think Mariota is probably starting by midseason. I'm not ready to give up on the marvelous Marcus Mariota. So maybe they're able to rise out of this. TBD. 23, Cardinals. So I love Isaiah Simmons. I like Josh Jones a lot. So, but Steve Keim has 9 lives in terms of being a GM, right? So he survived trading up and taking Josh Rosen number 10 overall. So you have a top 10 quarterback. You give up on him after a year. You hired Mike McCoy, the offensive coordinator, and you fired Steve Wilkes after 1 year as head coach. What's worse, hiring a head coach that you fire after a year or firing a coach after 1 year? I don't know. Both are pretty bad, right? And then somehow you bring in Cliff Kingsbury, you have Kyler Murray and all that stuff. Sure. So I'm intrigued by the Cardinals. I love Kyler. I like that they're trying to fix the offensive line. Love Nuke Hopkins. Love Isaiah Simmons, one of my favorite players in the draft this year. So they got something going, but I'm still not convinced that Kingsbury is going to be this massive offensive god king. I mean, because also there's still another side of the ball. It's weird, strange things. 22 Steelers. So I feel bad. My guy Mike Tomlin, last year was probably his best coaching job ever, and this is a guy who's won a Super Bowl and went to another one, but holding the ship together during that mess was just tough, right? And I don't think Big Ben is ever going to bounce back. I think that it's sort of over there. They didn't really address the backup quarterback position, so barring them getting Cam, which by the way they should, yeah, it's gonna be rough. All right, so 21 Eagles, where I love how the Eagles are just trying to couch. Jalen Hurts in the second round. This is no black mark on what we think about Carson Wentz. Bull loney. Bull bleep. It's like when the Eagles brought in Michael Vick. Is like, this has nothing to do with Donovan McNabb, and then a year later, Donovan McNabb is in Washington, just like flipping burgers. Get out of here, right? So I think that Jalen Hurts, it will be a silent coup. Like Carson Wentz, when he's healthy, is phenomenal, but can he stay healthy long term? No. Yeah, so I think Carson Wentz will probably be out of Philly by this time next year. Mark my words, mark that down. And the Eagles, I mean, yeah, they were ravaged by injuries last year. I love Jalen Reagor. I think that Miles Sanders is ready to step up in year 2. But other than that, screw him straight to Hades. Next up, Chargers. So I like Anthony Lynn. Remember, the Chargers were 12-4 like 2 years ago. Had a really abysmal season last year. But the Chargers, they got Justin Herbert. He's going to be the QB of the future. They got rid of Russell Okung. So now they got Trey Pipkins starting at left tackle. But I'm intrigued. I mean, any team that has Keenan Allen and Mike Williams starting to step up, I mean, you got something going. Austin Eckler's very interesting as well. Plus, I mean, they got Joey Bosa. They have Ingram. They have a lot of really awesome pieces on that defensive side. They got Derwin, bringing A, right? And also now they got Linval. So the Chargers, starting towards the back of the pack, could easily make their way up if they get off to but they're starting back because, I mean, I like Tyrod. I don't think he's the answer there. I think Justin Herbert will find his way onto the field sooner than later, so that's why they're starting a little bit lower. Next up, so Patriots at 19, where we predict that the Patriots will strategically go 2-14, but as of right now, we have them up pretty high because you got to respect Belichick. I mean, even though they got Jarrett Stidham, and then what else do they have? Not a whole lot. But this could easily, by design, by the way, because I think Belichick is secure enough in his legacy that he is okay having a complete year to be able to position himself to get the next future franchise quarterback, because I don't think Jarrett Stidham is it. Broncos 18. This is a team that could rise very quick. I like Vic Fangio. I think he's phenomenal as a defensive mind. And that offense is going to be legit. I love what they've added on the offensive line. Dalton Reiser's my guy. Nathani Moody, if he works out. They got to solve Garrett Bowles, the human penalty machine. Get him out of left tackle. But you got Cortland Sutton, and then you added KJ Hamler and Jerry Jeudy. What is happening? What is going on? It's going to be great. Plus, Philip Lindsay is phenomenal. And then you add the corpse of Melvin Gordon in there, too. Baby, you got Stugan. You got Noah Fant. My goodness. What is going on in the Mile High City? Next up, 17 Texans, which with Deshaun, you're always going to be competitive. But I do not believe in Bill O'Brien. Does Bill O'Brien have the tapes? Does he have the pictures? Why is he still in charge? And also, why is he the GM? That's what I want to know. Yeah, but is what it is. 16 Dolphins. I love Brian Flores. I like Chris Greer. I really love what they've done there. Just completely going all in on Tua. If he stays healthy, I think he has a chance to be the next Drew Brees, the next Matt Ryan, the next very solid top-tier quarterback in this league. I also love what they did on the offensive line, plus securing a bunch of pieces on the defense as well. The Dolphins are going to be very plucky. I don't know what the odds are of them winning the AFC East this year. But I'll look into it because I think the Bills are probably favored at this point. But so you probably get a decent price on the Dolphins winning it, where I think that division is going to be up for grabs with the Patriots taking a step back. Next up, 14 Panthers. So Teddy, Matt Rule, Christian McCaffrey, Joe Brady. Let's go. Let's get this done. Plus, adding Derek Brown to that already fast defense. Plus, you got Brian Burns, who had 7.5 sacks last year, playing like 2 snaps. It's going to be great. They're young. They're fast on defense. They had Jeremy Chin. They added the Ashton Davis, I believe, is on that team as well. They really stacked up a lot of young, fun, fast defensive pieces. That's the way Matt Rule wants to play. I think Teddy's going to operate on offense. And Joe Brady's going to actually cater to Teddy's skill set, which is such a novel concept. And, of course, Christian McCaffrey is a do-it-all wonder. He's the second best running back in the league behind Dalvin Cook. Boom. Next up, Falcons 13. So, Treadwell. Not just kidding. But Julio, Calvin Ridley. They added the corpse of Todd Gurley. Sure, whatever. Matt Ryan, is he starting to wane a little bit? A little bit where, if they can protect him, that offensive line has been a science experiment. They had 2 first-round picks last year in Lindstrom, solid. McGarry, not so much. That defense is having a bit of a facelift. But, yeah, I think this is probably the last ride if things go south for Dimitroff and Dan Quinn. But, they're a very talented football team in a really tough division, though. But what can you do there? 12 Cowboys. So Dak, Zeke, Amari, Gallup, still one of the better offensive lines of football. That defense is going through a transition, but you still have DeMarcus Lawrence. They're going to be plucky, and also they play in the worst division in football. So, the Falcons would probably win the NFC East by 2 games. That's how weak that division is. 11 Browns, and now this isn't as much as the last year. Oh, the Browns 14-1 to win the Super Bowl. Freddie Kitchens, blah blah blah. No, but Stefanski is a legit calming force. I think he's a great organizer. I think he'll do wonderful things with that offense. That defense is pretty damn legit too, right? You add Grant Delpit to an already very solid secondary, plus a pretty decent front 7. I love what they have going on there. Plus OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Njoku, Chubb, Kareem Hunt. And you add Jedrick Wills, and you sign Jack Conklin to an already pretty solid offensive line. Let's go. Stefanski, year 1. Get it done. 10, Bills. Love and respect Sean McDermott. I think Leslie Frazier has earned himself a second head coaching shot. Didn't work out for a myriad of reasons here in Minnesota, but he's built a hell of a defense in conjunction with Sean McDermott. And I think they've done really good things. Josh Allen, still as polarizing a quarterback prospect as there has ever been. But adding Stephon Diggs, you have a great premier deep threat. I think it was smart of the Bills. I think it was smart of the Vikings. It could be a spot where trade actually works out in both directions. And then, Devin Singletary is ready to step up. And I'm intrigued by the Bills. And like I said, I think the AFC East is wide open. I think the Bills are probably prohibitive favorites at this point in time. But look out for the Dolphins. But the Bills with that defense will always be in the mix. Number 9, Titans. And I love and respect what Vrabel has brought. Where Vrabel, as a player, as a linebacker, and a tight end, he's just like a tough, punch you in the face type coach, type player, and he carried that over to his coaching. Like, they are rough and tumble. Like him and Arthur Smith. Either way, he's the son of the FedEx dude, which is kind of awesome. But yeah, them offensively, they are what they are. They're going to run power. They're going to run gap. They're going to run Derrick Henry straight up your ass. And Ryan Tannehill, they're going to cater to his strengths. They're going to try and limit his weaknesses. And you saw he had the 3rd highest quarterback rated season in NFL history. Ryan Tannehill. That's right. It's amazing. You love A.J. Brown. Davis, not so much. But A.J. Brown doing some intriguing things there. So I think that, the Titans, I don't know if they'll make it back to the AFC title game again, but they'll certainly be a force in the AFC South. Kind of glad that the Vikings get them early and at home. Next up, Seahawks. You can never count out the Seahawks with Russ, even though, they're going to trade Russ for the number 1 overall pick. Baloney. The Browns, if that trade was actually on the table, like the Browns should have been like, done, click. Yes, click. Trade made, click. That is all, right? But Russ, to me, is still top 3 quarterback in this league. And even though, like, the pieces around him, like, they've never really fully improved that offensive line. They still want to be a running team, which is fine. But you got Lockett, you got DK. That defense is still going to be pretty legit, even though they're starting to get long in the tooth at certain positions. Sure. I think they'll be in the mix in the NFC West with the Niners. I got to respect what Shanahan and Lynch have done there. They gave up on Buckner, but they reloaded. They got Javon Kinlaw for a song in the first round, which is just amazing, right? That defense is pretty damn legit. I still do not believe in Jimmy Garoppolo, but the fact that you add Ayuk to Debo, there you go, spaced out name. So Debo, as well as they have the prolific running game. We'll see what happens up there. Oh, also, they got Trent Williams to replace Joe Staley with riding off of the sunset. Joe Staley was legit, though, man. He was really good. 6, Colts. I think Frank Reich is a great head coach. I think he got the last gasp of Phillip Rivers. I think he has 1 or 2 good seasons left in him. Actually, I think Rivers has a little bit more left in him than Brady, but yeah. It's almost like he's younger or something. But 19 kids account and going to Indianapolis. I really like what they did adding Pittman on the outside. I think he's a nice compliment to T.Y. Hilton. Plus that running game, adding Jonathan Taylor-Thomas to Naheem Hines and Marlon Mack. So I actually think that they have a little something going up there in Indy, and they'll be a force in the AFC South. Next up, stupid Saints and your faces. So 4 Ravens. All right, so Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh. It's really awesome that they just catered an offense. They're like, throughout the entire playbook, right? We're just going to run this, high school, old school offense around Lamar Jackson, and he's just going to be dynamite because teams just do not know how to defend 11 on 11. Plus, they're one of the heaviest run teams in the league. They got a great tight end on Mark Andrews. They got great field stretchers in Hollywood Brown. I think James Prochet, if he makes a squad, I think he should. Will be great underneath. I think he'll become Lamar Jackson's BFF. Plus, adding J.K. Dobbins to Mark Ingram to the Gus Bus. Man, I really love the Ravens. Plus, defensively, just reloading there. I mean, Ozzie Newsome, Eric DaCosta. Well, Eric DaCosta now, but I mean, with a longtime influence of Ozzie. I mean, they're just so good. They're just so good at drafting well and then letting players go and then getting compensatory picks and then drafting well. It's a very vicious cycle. I mean, they're just phenomenal at that. 3 Bucks. Yeah. So beyond all the superstars on offense, I mean, the Bucs have a really solid defensive core. They really do. But then offensively, you look at what Bruce Arians wants to do. You bring in Tristan Wirfs so that Tom Brady doesn't die. And then Brady, even though he doesn't have the old Brady arm, is still going to have enough arm strength to be able to distribute to Evans, to Godwin, to Gronk, to Brait, to O.J. Howard, to Tyler Johnson, to T.J., to Keshawn Vaughn, to not Ronald Jones. But man, my goodness, Bucs. To Chiefs. Yeah, have to show respect to the Super Bowl champions, Pat Mahomes. I mean, how many first-round picks would you trade for Mahomes right now? 7? If you could, you can trade a maximum of 4. But if you could honestly trade 7 first-round picks, I would do it. I would do it for Pat Mahomes right now. As well as, I mean, adding Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who could be a better version of Brian Westbrook in that Andy Reid offense. It's just unfair. It just really is. So you got Tyreek, you got Mecole, you got Sammy Watkins, you got Travis Kelce, who's one of the best tight ends in the league. And now you add a dynamic receiving back. Get out of here. Get all the way out of here. Plus defense, they can get after it with Tyron and D Ford. So it's like, okay. And lastly, we know what's going on. That's right. Kirky, Jerome, Ezekiel Cousins, the Tin Pot Pizza Ranch dictator, is going to lead this team to the promised land down in Tampa. Also, it benefits that the Vikings, if there are no fans allowed in the first couple of games, I mean, say that there are 0 to some fans allowed for the first 10 weeks of the season. So you get both primetime games out of the way, week 5 at Seattle, and week 10 at Chicago, Monday Night Football. It could only benefit the Vikings at Kirk Cousins. So that's it. That is our Nuvo 1.0 mid-May NFL Power Rankings in your face. Your thoughts, let us know in the comment section below. Unless you're a Bears fan, then just keep your thoughts to yourself because you guys suck. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Pull us up in the Venmo. Let's give us a follow on social media as well. Until next time. Skol. Production value.